This is the creature we call an albino axolotl, a fascinating amphibian that's captured the hearts of exotic pet enthusiasts worldwide. Hello, I'm Shafik, and I'm on a mission to uncover all the secrets of the aquatic world that have been hiding just beneath the surface. And one of those secrets pertains to a creature that looks like it's straight out of a fantasy novel, the albino axolotl. Now, as someone who's spent more hours than I'd like to admit staring into aquariums and poring over care guides, I think I'm qualified to talk about these little aquatic wonders. So let's dive into the world of albino axolotls and see how we can keep these stunning creatures happy and healthy in our homes. You know, when I first laid eyes on an albino axolotl, I was completely mesmerized. I mean, have you ever seen anything quite like it? With their ghostly white bodies, pink gills that look like a fancy headdress, and those captivating red eyes. They're like the supermodels of the amphibian world. But don't let their delicate appearance fool you. These little guys are tougher than they look. So let's talk about these amazing albino axolotls. They're not just regular axolotls that have gone through some kind of bleaching process. No, their striking appearance is the result of a genetic mutation that affects pigmentation. It's like nature decided to create its own limited edition version of the already cool axolotl. How did they manage to look so otherworldly? Well, it's all in the genes, my friends. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret about albino axolotls. While they might look like they're ready for their close-up at any moment, they're actually quite sensitive creatures. Their lack of pigmentation means they're more susceptible to light, and their eyes can be easily damaged. It's like they're wearing sunglasses all the time, except they can't take them off. So if you're thinking of keeping one as a pet, you'll need to create an environment that caters to their special needs. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty of albino axolotl care. First things first, their habitat. These guys aren't exactly demanding when it comes to space, but they do appreciate a well-set-up aquarium. Think of it as creating a studio apartment for a very particular tenant. A 20-gallon tank is a good start for a single axolotl. It's like giving them a cozy little bachelor pad where they can stretch their gills and do their axolotl thing. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Albino axolotls have some specific requirements when it comes to their water. They're not fans of warm water. It's like asking them to live in a hot tub 24/7. The ideal temperature range is between 64 degrees Celsius, 15 to 18 degrees Celsius. I know what you're thinking. Sarah, that's pretty chilly. Well, remember, these little guys are used to cool mountain streams in their native Mexico. Keeping the water cool might require a chiller, especially if you live in a warmer climate. It's like installing air conditioning for your axolotl. A bit of an investment, but worth it for their comfort. Let's talk about filtration. Axolotls produce a fair amount of waste, so a good filter is essential. But here's the catch. They don't like strong currents. It's like they're trying to relax in their cool pool, not train for the amphibian Olympics. A sponge filter or a canister filter with a spray bar to diffuse the output works well. Just make sure the intake is covered to prevent your curious axolotl from getting sucked in. Trust me, that's not a fun situation for anyone involved. Now, onto the fun part, decorating your axolotl's home. These guys love to have places to hide and explore. Fine sand makes a great substrate. It's soft on their delicate skin, and they can't accidentally swallow it like they might with gravel. Add some caves, PVC pipes, or even terracotta pots for hiding spots. It's like creating a little underwater playground for your axolotl. Just make sure everything is smooth. No sharp edges allowed in this aquatic paradise. Let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say the lack of plants in the tank? While live plants can look great, axolotls have a habit of uprooting or eating them. It's like they're on a mission to redecorate their tank every day. If you really want some greenery, try attaching Java ferns or anubias to rocks or driftwood. These are hardy plants that can withstand a bit of axolotl mischief. Now, onto one of the most important aspects of axolotl care, their diet. Axolotls are carnivores, and they're not picky eaters. Their menu can include earthworms, bloodworms, brine shrimp, and even specially formulated axolotl pellets. It's like having a little underwater garbage disposal. They'll eat pretty much anything that fits in their mouth. Just be careful not to overfeed them. A well-fed axolotl is a happy axolotl, but an overfed one can develop health issues. Here's a pro tip. Use a feeding dish. It helps keep the tank cleaner and makes it easier for your axolotl to find their food. Plus, it's pretty entertaining to watch them slurp up their dinner like they're at a fancy restaurant. Just don't expect them to use a napkin or have table manners. Let's talk about one of the coolest things about axolotls, their regenerative abilities. These little guys can regrow lost limbs, organs, and even parts of their brain. It's like they have their own built-in repair kit. However, this doesn't mean you should be careless with their care. Prevention is always better than relying on their regenerative superpowers. Now I know what you're thinking. Sarah, this all sounds great, but how do I know if my albino axolotl is happy? Well, a healthy axolotl should have a plump body, alert eyes, and those fabulous frilly gills should be nice and fluffy. They should be active, especially during feeding time. If your axolotl is lethargic, not eating, or its gills look clamped, it might be time for a trip to an exotic pet vet. One thing to keep in mind is that albino axolotls are more sensitive to light than their pigmented cousins. In the wild, axolotls live in murky waters, so bright light can stress them out. It's like asking them to sunbathe on a beach without sunscreen. Keep their tank in a dimly lit area or use floating plants to provide some shade. Your albino axolotl will thank you for the considerate lighting. Let's address a common misconception. Axolotls and company. While it might seem like a good idea to give your axolotl a tank mate, it's generally not recommended. Axolotls are not social creatures and can be quite territorial. Plus, they have a habit of mistaking anything that moves for food, including fish or even the limbs of other axolotls. It's like putting a hungry teenager in a room full of snacks. Things are bound to disappear. Now, let's talk about water changes. Regular partial water changes are crucial for keeping your axolotl healthy. Aim for about 20% every week. It's like giving their home a little spring cleaning. Just make sure the new water is dechlorinated and at the right temperature before adding it to the tank. Nobody likes an unexpected cold shower, not even axolotls. Here's something that might surprise you. Axolotls can live for quite a long time in captivity, up to 15 years or more with proper care. That's longer than most dogs. So when you decide to bring an albino axolotl into your life, you're making a long-term commitment. It's like adopting a scaly aquatic child that will never grow up and leave for college. One last thing to keep in mind. Axolotls are escape artists. They can and will try to climb out of their tank if given the opportunity. Make sure your tank has a secure lid. Trust me, you don't want to wake up to find your albino axolotl has decided to explore your living room carpet. It's not a pretty sight, and it's definitely not good for the axolotl. Well, that's it for this video on albino axolotl care. Let me know in the comments below if you have any experience with these fascinating creatures. Have you ever considered keeping an albino axolotl as a pet? Or maybe you have some axolotl care tips of your own to share. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of albino axolotls, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future aquatic adventures. Big thanks to my patrons for literally making this video happen. If you'd like to support the channel and help me keep exploring the wonders of the underwater world, you can do so at the link in the description. Until next time, keep your water cool and your axolotls happy. And remember, just because they can regrow limbs doesn't mean they should have to. Take good care of your aquatic friends. Goodbye and happy axolotl keeping.